What is going on, Internet J Game Dude here, and Ubisoft has once again screwed up. You might be wondering what they've done. So, just to kind of give you a vague idea of what we're talking about here, it's Star Wars Outlaws, a game that some people might have been looking forward to, and a game where other people have just kind of not been looking forward to. So basically the idea is that Star Wars Outlaws has had an update that forced early access players to restart the game from the very beginning, because if they updated the game and continued playing with a save that they had pre-patch or pre-update, it would potentially cause them to be stuck in space and not be able to progress any further in the game, and that there is actually no workaround to continue using that same save, and ultimately players would have to start the game from the very beginning. Now let me know what you guys think about this whole situation in the comments below, because I would be very interested to see what you guys think about this and the whole idea of paying for early access. And of course, like the video if you liked it. I've also got my Patreon link in the description below if you want to toss a few bucks my way. Would certainly appreciate that. And let's just kind of really jump into the story in question, or rather what I wanted to talk about, which is the idea of early access and paying additional money for it. Because there has been a trend lately, and I feel like a lot of games have now started to really jump on the bandwagon of, hey, if you pay like, $10, $20 extra on top of the price for the main game, you get 3 days of early access or 1 week of early access to the game. Now, granted, Star Wars Outlaws did give you the option to do that. However, what really sucks, and this is only for the PlayStation 5 version of the game, people who have actually paid extra money to get access to the game a few days earlier are now in a position where if they haven't already beaten the game, they won't be able to continue playing unless they choose to do a brand new game, because as I mentioned earlier, players would actually get stuck. And so Ubisoft did send out an email to players that kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at the moment. So Ubisoft sent this following email to players. To best experience the Outer Rim, we rolled out a maintenance to make sure everyone is playing the latest version of the game. As one of the players affected who had access to an older version of the game, that's a funny way of putting it, for people who paid extra to get access to the game early, but sure. We are aware you might be encountering some issues after this recent patch. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. Once you've confirmed you have the latest version, please start a new save. Now, it says a new save. You don't just, back up your save and then continue to keep playing. No, they want you to start the game from scratch all over again. Please start a new save to fully enjoy Star Wars as our team intended. If you continue on a prior save, you will unfortunately face issues and progression blockers. And players have complained that they were forced into losing hours of progress through no fault of their own, a loss that was made all the worse by the fact that it occurred during Star Wars Outlaws early access period, which was reserved for those who paid more than $100 for the gold edition. Holy crap. So in my local currency, you would be paying over $150 for the gold edition, if not more. Oh my god. Holy crap, that is a nightmare. And then they did send a secondary email to say, we are following up on the previous email we sent you regarding issues with an outdated version on PS5. We fully acknowledge that asking you to start a new game is not the best experience, especially during the early access period, and for that we apologize. To make your return to the Outer Rim a little more special, we are granting you an in-game Trailblazer trinket. So Trailblazer, I think, is the name of the ship that you ride in, as well as 100 Ubisoft Connect units to redeem for in-game rewards, for example. We are actively working on adding the Ubisoft connect units to your account so that you can use these as soon as possible, and you can collect the trinket from the delivery crate at the back of the Trailblazer once you reach Tashara. We appreciate your patience and we hope you enjoy the game. So you lose however much progress you've made into the game. You get 100 Ubisoft Connect credits, which pretty much give you bugger all, really, when you think about it, because I've got my Ubisoft account, but I don't, use the credits for much of anything, even when I do get them as part of the achievements that I earn when I connect them to Ubisoft games on my PS5. And a trinket for your ship that you can put somewhere, which is just some minor cosmetic thing. So to put things into perspective, you've paid over $100 USD to pay for a game to be able to play in early access. You put a decent chunk of time into it. You are then told by Ubisoft, hey, we've updated the game. You have to start from scratch. You have no choice, otherwise you will get stuck progression-wise. And in order to apologize, we're going to give you 100 Ubisoft Connect credits, which don't mean anything to anyone playing the game. And we're also going to give you a small little, cosmetic thing that you can have in your ship. And that's it. Wow, that is insultingly bad. But it's also worth pointing out that the general consumer consensus around the game is already actually very bad, because a lot of people are saying that this game is not good enough to replay, ultimately. If you lose progress in this game, you're better off just not even returning to the game. And that kind of sucks. Holy crap. Yeah. Compensation is laughable, and a bunch of other things. I mean, holy crap. The biggest thing that you get is 40 FPS support, because the game was actually stuck on 30 FPS for the longest time, and I'm not too sure if that was actually a actual creative decision that was made, because this game has not had glowing review. It has had more glowing reviews, but the general consensus among people who have been playing have not been particularly glowing. Sure, it's a game that's worth pushing yourself through if you want to abuse, if you want to cause a little bit of self-abuse just because, in the least painful way possible. Like a digital form of self-abuse, sure, maybe, who knows? But it's clear that this game is not worth playing through all over again. No matter how much time you've put through it. This game isn't worth the money that you have to pay for it, let alone be one of those people who actually play extra in order to get early access to the game. Games are really okay. I'm very curious as to what everyone has to think about all of this, because while I say Ubisoft have screwed up, they have screwed up royally in a way that you can't really consider, because a lot of games are providing this whole early access nonsense, and the fact that early access, you are just paying for nothing. 3 days of early access, more like if you pay less money, you get access to the game 3 days late, let's put it that way. And so by paying extra money, you are getting the game on its actual release date. So with all of that being considered, you are paying more money to get access to a game that has still got more bugs, glitches, and so ultimately you then have to wait for a patch that may also cause you to then restart the game, because either your progress may be wiped, or potentially there's going to be blockers preventing you from progressing in the game any further at that point. Was paying that extra $30 worth it? Probably not. And I would say absolutely not from my perspective. I would be absolutely mad. And the only way to really even be able to make good on people losing their progress was to refund the difference between the deluxe edition and the standard edition. Refund the difference to people who paid that much. Not one little, visual difference in your ship and 100 Ubisoft credits that don't mean anything. Ugh. You know, I feel like gaming companies should really stop advertising this whole idea of a few days early access, because it doesn't mean anything. And the people who are paying for this, I'm looking at you dead in the eyes and I'm going to tell you, you deserve to be scammed, because that's what it is. You're getting fleeced out of extra money, and in return you get nothing. A few days of early access? What does that even mean? When, say, someone like myself has like hundreds of games on my backlog that I would much rather be paying more than, or playing more than Star Wars Outlaws. Because the thing is, I am going to be buying Outlaws, but I'm going to be waiting for a sale, because I always wait for Ubisoft games to go on sale, because usually they have a pretty good tail when it comes to DLC support and things along those lines. Like when I got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I think I got it for like 10 or 12 bucks, and that includes all of its DLC. I'm very, very happy with my purchase regarding that. And you might think, hey, you're not supporting the industry and things along those lines. By paying for the game, yeah, you are still, supporting the industry. The problem is that the industry is trying to take too much advantage of people when games launch. Again, we've seen the proliferation of DLC to season passes to loot boxes to battle passes to free-to-play games, now ultimately fleecing people out of money through pay-to-win mechanics. It's only going to evolve and get worse unless the gaming industry pays the price. But I don't think that's going to happen, because it's become far too normalized over the past 14 to 15 years. It's sad and unfortunate to see, but it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 300 subs by the end of the year. I do have my Patreon link in the description below if you want to toss a few bucks my way. And with all of that being said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.